All right. Good morning. Good morning. We have a good crew joining us today. Hello. Happy Thursday morning, my friend Zanthia.
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing really well, thanks.
Good.
I'm super excited, to get to know you a little bit more on our Legends of Be Wealthy call for several reasons.
Right.
One is that you're a wildly powerful businesswoman. B, you seem to learn really quickly and take things on and implement them really quickly. So I'm curious to dig into that.
Okay.
And three, you're basically kick-ass, and every time I see you, you're smiling and laughing and have incredible energy. And I know you and Brett have spent some time one-on-one together, and he has been very impressed as well. And so he recommended that on today's Legends of Be Wealthy call, that we get to know you a little bit better and learn about a lot of your successes. So with
Great.
that, if you could share with us a little bit about your background, your business you're in, how long you've been doing this. Tell us about Zanthia in 3 minutes-ish.
Oh, wow. All right. Zanthia is a mom, wife, friend, sister, just, who wants the same thing out of life as most people, just to live all out and add as much value to this world, this universe as I can. And I've been doing it in the real estate space specifically for 22 years. I started my team back in 2013, and it's been, just like any other team leader, a lot of ups and downs, and sought out Brett and Be Wealthy to help me figure some things out and hopefully just scale more. And it's been great.
Awesome. I love it. So talk to us a little bit about, you started your team back in 2013. What was kind of the catalyst for starting a team? I mean, you're busy. You're a mom, you're a wife, you're a friend, sister, you've got kiddos, you're busy.
Yeah, very busy.
Yeah.
Well, and at the time I was also playing on 5 tennis teams. So I was really busy, but I realized my tennis career just wasn't paying me enough to put my kids through college. So I had to, which meant I needed to spend more time doing real estate. But specifically what happened in 2012 is that we, after the downturn in 2008, 2009, as you know, most agents, whenever there's a shift in the market, there's a slew of agents that will leave the business. And it leads to the career agents and those who really take their business seriously, leaves it to us to take care of the lion's share. And at that time, there were a ton of short sales. I think over the course of maybe 6 or 7 years, we must have did about 150 short sales. So at that time, it was me and one assistant, and I had 25 short sales under contract. And then I had 10 regular resales under contract, whether they be listings and buyers. And I was completely dying. And I've always been a very solo, not wanting to manage other people. But I think after my husband had to bring me dinner too many times at 10 o'clock at night at the office, we knew something had to change. That I just did not have a good quality of life. So I enlisted the help of a coach in the fall of 2012 and started the team early 2013.
A lot of people who are probably listening to this are in a same or similar position, right? Especially as the market's shifting today. And it's a big adjustment to go from being a solo person. I mean, you're a tennis player, right? So you've played both doubles and you've played singles. It's a totally different game almost.
It is. Yeah.
What were some of the biggest challenges you had in that transition of going from solo to now building out a team?
Losing control. What I perceived as losing control or not having control over everything. I wanted to really control my client experience. And I did not believe that I could do that if I brought another individual into my space outside of one being an assistant. At that time, I just didn't completely have all the tools in place. Now, I was constantly implementing systems. The coach I hired at that time helped with me implementing systems and finally getting the team to work very well. But I just didn't feel comfortable letting go of that control. And I think a lot of it had to do with ego too. I felt like they needed me. It had to be me. If it wasn't me doing it, it wasn't going to be successful. It wasn't going to have the same flavor. And I just realized that it was really all ego. People don't care. They just want someone to help them. They just want someone to do a great job.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's
Yeah.
exactly right. I find that my ego tends to be my biggest challenge most of the time.
Yeah.
I need to start putting that on my action plan with Brett on our one-on-ones. Like, what's my biggest challenge? Me. I'm my biggest
Right.
challenge.
Right. Yeah.
Fast forward a decade. Now we're sitting here 10 years later. What does your world look like today?
So today my world looks like, wow, it's so much bigger. Because last year in November, I was able to meet Brett, yourself, and become a part of the Be Wealthy family. And it really opened up my world. And I'm gonna tell you what was just so insanely attractive to me is when I received the email. It was a YouTube, or it was a video Brett sent out saying that if you don't have a plan of having $50 million having a 50 million net worth within the next 30 years or something, whatever he said, 15 years, I don't remember, don't even come. And to me, that was really attractive. It's like, oh my God. And I just never even thought about that much wealth. I never even considered that to be a thing. I, of course, doing real estate for this many years. And, I would say after meeting you guys, I would say I thought I was doing very well in comparison to the average agent, and really saving and being a good steward over the just all the great business I've been able to do over the last couple of years. But hearing that YouTube just changed me, and it encouraged me to demand more from life. And I can't remember if it was Jim Rohn or someone like that who said, life will pay you whatever you demand of it. So that was very life changing to me last year. So since then, I have a team. Brett helped give me some great ideas on changing my team, really, demanding, making sure that my agents are held accountable on a daily basis. So that's been very great. But I've also started building out an acquisition side, which has been phenomenal. In all transparency, I'm really done with transactions. Not done, but I prefer not doing them. I really want to be out of production. And I feel like Be Wealthy has shown me an easy segue to build more wealth on the acquisition side without sacrificing my retail sales and my retail business. I'm still able to help past clients, my team help our past clients build that business. And even though I may not be working in it as much as I had in the past, we're still able to profit from all the years of investment in the retail side. But now I am finding it so refreshing, and it's so much fun to build out this acquisition side.
That is so interesting because, a lot of people like yourself come into our world, right? They to be wealthy and they hear, let's build a plan for 50 million. When we're thinking about it in getting there one listing at a time, it seems crazy daunting and virtually impossible.
Right.
And so a lot of times when you see these different paths or ways to get there, and it's a different lane or it's a different thought process from everything we've been taught, because everything we've been taught in the industry is about going to get more listings. and then
Yeah,
leverage in that business to go get more listings.
right.
And so to have this new lane is a pretty big paradigm shift mentally. But you dove in pretty fast, Zanthia. There wasn't a lot of trepidation on your end. So is that normal for you? Are you usually a dive in kind of gal,
I
or?
am. I'm a huge risk taker.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, I'm a huge risk taker. But I think being a part of the Be Wealthy, it opened my eyes to all the deals that are just right there in front of my face. And it also helped me remove biases I had against the investment community and the investor overall. I did not, it was never my preference to work with investors because they're not loyal, because of it's just their attitude is very different. And I was so used to the retail emotional buyer. I didn't even understand the investment side on the scale that I understand now.
Sure.
And absolutely can appreciate the hustle, their hustle. I can appreciate what they do. Um, so no, I dove in and I looked at everything that comes in, all our leads that come in and opportunities. And with the training I've received through Brett, now I can see so many deals, and I've been able to take advantage of a lot of them.
So I'd love to dive into that a little more. For everyone on the call who may not know, what market are you in, Zanthia?
Oh, I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Perfect. You're in Charlotte, North Carolina, and you have a strong retail business there. What was your production last year?
Last year, we were right around 40 million.
Okay, right around 40 million. Do you think you'll be about that same this year, or will that?
I think we'll be a little bit more than that this year. Yeah,
awesome.
It should be more.
More as you're pulling out of the business, which that accountability piece is pretty impressive. So
it is.
Well done there, my friend.
Thank
so
you.
have, I think it's important that people know you have built from a single agent to today, a strong $40 million business with systems and models. You're pulling yourself out of that, and now you've started the acquisition side. So when you first decided to go into that business, what did you do? What did it look like? Walk us through those first, what you probably thought were thrilling moments, but others find terrifying. What happened first?
Well, first we started building our buyer list. Building our buyer list, finding people who are interested in buying real estate. We put out fillers to our past clients to find out who was interested in selling their homes, all the things on the sheet, step by step, just prospecting for opportunities. I also started recruiting talent to make phone calls. And these are unlicensed agents, people who want to be agents. And they jump in and make the calls and help uncover opportunities. But my first deal actually came in through a postcard, a just sold postcard that we sent out for a retail sale.
So it came from a retail lead?
It actually came from a retail lead, yeah.
Okay, I like it.
And so I just called. At the beginning, I started just doing everything myself. Like before we even start recruiting people, honestly, I was making the calls. I was trying to figure it out so that I can teach someone else to do it. So I wanted to know the experience and exactly what expectation is set for those who will be working in the acquisitions department. So I started making the calls, and I talked to the actual seller, and they were basically throwing their keys at me. They said, my house is, we just want it gone. There's a hole in the roof. There's a hole in the bathroom floor. There's a cracked window. The house is in really, really bad shape. And I'm thinking, oh, great, this is a great opportunity, but I'm kind of scared. Let's see, how, what this will materialize into. So we
Hold on.
negotiated.
Zanthia, let me ask you this. If you had received that call 12 months ago on the
Oh my
retail
God.
side, what would your reaction have been? Because your reaction today is like, ooh, sounds like opportunity. What would it
Right,
have been?
exactly. Yeah, yeah. Last year, this time I would have said, I'm sorry. Are you
Hell
willing?
no.
Are you willing to fix the floor? Are you willing to put a new roof on the house? You know? So I just wanted to get it sellable where it would pass inspections.
Right,
I would
right.
try to talk them into fixing the house up for sure.
And today it's like, don't touch a thing. I'll be right
It's
there.
like, oh, no problem. We can do that. I handle everything, you know. So we handle shacks, we handle castles, whatever whatever it is, we'll handle it for you. So it was scary, and it was very, very scary. So I called. I think I reached out to Brett and reached out to you guys, and I tried to negotiate it, and ended up negotiating before I actually talked to you guys with the seller to buy it for 155. I'd sold 2 homes in that neighborhood, within 60 days of the call. So I knew the house would sell for somewhere around 300,000.
That's a big
Close
delta.
to 300,000 after repair value, that is. However, I had no idea how to budget for repairs. I thought, oh, this is 35, 40,000. I've done, some remodeling for some rentals we have. And I had no idea. But as soon as I submitted the deal to Brett and I showed him everything, he was like, oh gosh, no, this is like $60,000 in repairs. This is, I think you've underestimated. And after that, am I going ahead of you, Caitlin?
No, you're
any
doing awesome.
questions?
I love it.
Okay.
Good.
Okay.
You know me, I'll just interrupt.
Okay, go ahead. Okay, that's fine. Well, I submitted it to him, and I was, oh gosh, I was so discouraged. I was like, what am I gonna do with this house? I was so excited that I negotiated 155,000. I thought I had 150 spread in there, right? And I'm listening and to what he's saying, and I just felt down. I thought, honestly, I thought maybe this acquisition thing isn't for me because maybe I'm not getting it. So after he said that, I said, well, I don't know. He said, it was a time before, he told me a couple months before, Zanthia, you got to get out of bad deals. I'm like, well, Brett, I promised them this and that. And he's like, I don't care. Things change. You know how he is, it's very direct. Things change. You got to get out of a bad deal, renegotiate. So I called the seller and I said, well, I know we have this deal for 155, but gosh, and here's another thing. Brett told me to get an inspection on it. And I got an inspection. It was much worse than he thought and that I thought. So the repairs were going to be even more. So I told the seller I had an inspection on it. The repairs came out to be exponentially more than what I thought they would be. And so I could no longer do the deal at 155. But if he wanted to sell it to me for 65,000, then we could close next week. And as soon as I said that, Caitlin, I don't think I took a full breath before the seller responded, okay. Oh my God. I was like, holy shit, how did that just happen? And why did I offer him 65? I should have offered him 50.
That is human nature.
Just being greedy. But honestly, I was just really, really shocked that he agreed to the 65,000. And we did close it the next week. So I sent the contract over to my attorney. I said, here, I need to close this next week. And my attorney said, oh, Zanthia, I know this road. I know this street. This is a nice property. We're almost done flipping another property we have. Do you have a buyer for this property? I said, well, not yet. I'm in negotiations with, a few buyers, but I don't have anyone yet. And he said, well, and the buyer was in negotiations with, he was going to buy it from me for 105. And he said, I'll just up it a little bit. I'll give you 110 for it. So, I mean, not only did I get it for much less. What's that? $90,000 less. I was able to sell it to my attorney, and I had planned just to pay 65,000 for it, but my attorney, I ended up assigning it to him and made $45,000 off that deal.
Without ever taking it down.
Right.
Woo!
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. The other buyer was, I mean, 40,000 was good too. I mean, at 105, that was great too, but he wanted it. He wanted it. He was like, oh, wow, this is great spread, great neighborhood, great. And trust me, after that, it was so easy. And honestly, I just didn't think it was going to be that easy. To be
well, I will
honest with you,
say,
gosh, it's like selling a house is much more. I mean, literally sold it to him, never went back out to the property again.
that's
Didn't even have to go to closing.
that's incredible.
And nobody asked me for a closing gift. How about that? I didn't
No
get a
gift
closing
baskets.
gift.
Well, congratulations. There's three key things that I heard there that I was like, wow, I always take a ton of notes because I learned so much on these calls from all of you.
Mm-hmm.
But you took the risk in trying something new.
Mm-hmm.
And took the opportunity of something coming across that normally you would have been like, it came from somewhere you didn't expect and you converted
Mm-hmm.
it into something. Then you sought counsel, right? You
I
asked,
did.
what should I do? And just by paying how much was that inspection?
Oh, it's like 425.
You were able to utilize that to get the huge price reduction. And then you got out of your own way.
No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. My inspector only charged me half on that. It was like 225 for the inspection. Yeah.
Then
'Cause
you've
we
got the
do.
paper to say, hey, your house is literally falling apart. You
Yeah.
aren't going to have
Yeah. I didn't, but here, listen, Caitlin, I didn't even have to send it to him. He knew how horrible the house was.
crazy.
I didn't even have to send him the inspection report.
Wow.
I think it was, honestly, it gave me confidence after putting it on the deal submission call and going through it and giving me advice, etc. It gave me the confidence that I needed to hold my ground,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
to know that I was not taking advantage of a seller. This is business. These are numbers. They're real. And if it doesn't make sense for both of us, it just isn't a deal.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Yeah.
Joe and Brett do a really, really good job at the mental paradigm of it is business. We're not trying to take advantage of anyone. This
Mhm.
seller is in a situation where they don't have access to a lot of people who would buy a property
Right.
in this condition, and they need out of it. You're providing a service. Every
Yeah.
business provides a service, and then there's always a cost associated with said service.
Yeah.
And that's just how it is. If they don't need that service, there's a retail option, but
Yeah.
unfortunately they do need that service and we can provide it. It is a mental paradigm shift because you work your whole life trying to get the best possible price for your sellers. And now to go in and have the flip of that can be a slight adjustment mentally.
It is. It has been.
Yeah, but you did, I mean, Zanthia, this is impressive. When
Well,
did
thank you.
when
And
did you decide you were going to start doing this? How many months ago?
wow, about 4 months ago. I mean, well, I put the infrastructure in place, and that's when the deal presented itself. About 3, 4 months ago.
So what's next for you? What does this new chapter look like?
Well, honestly, right now, this afternoon, I'm going to look at a mobile home. Looking at a mobile home. So far, I think she wants somewhere around 25,000. The after repair on it is like 180. So we'll look at that one. I got under contract another one that's 39,000. We'll close that one next week. It's 39,000 on an acre and a half. So we are working with the surveyor and some people now just to see what it'll look like to subdivide the land. And
Sure.
hopefully I can put some repo trailers and renovate them and put them on the, half acre, So I create 3 properties. I'm also interested and right now I'm just trying to figure out which ones I'll hold. So I'll be submitting these deals that I currently have in front of me. I got a couple more on the table as well. So I'll be submitting those in the future.
I love it. Fantastic. I think especially as the market's shifting, while there
Such a
may
great
be
time.
yeah, there may be a stopgap here for a second as things start to settle,
Mhm,
but that's really the time to start working on that cash buyer list, your marketing plan, all of those pieces so that you can hit the ground running in this opportunity. Like you
mhm.
said, a lot of in the last market shift, a lot of the hobbyists or not career agents stepped out, and the same thing is going to happen on the investment side as well. So this is going to be in my opinion, and Brett and I talk about it a lot, one of the greatest opportunities of our lifetime will come in the
It
next couple
is.
of years. So
It is. I feel so fortunate to be in this space and to have found Brett this past year. My mindset has totally shifted. I've I've netted more money. I believe, you know what, Caitlin, we did more than 40 million last year. I'm sorry about that. But my mindset has totally shifted about the way I make money and the way I see money. Even from the budget he makes us do is where's your money going? Do you really need this? Do you need that? Looking at that on a monthly basis, I mean, it doesn't even matter how much you make as much as it matters how much you keep,
yeah.
So I've just been making every effort to work smarter, not harder.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
in this year, I've really been rebuilding my team because it was, even though I've had a team for many years, it wasn't necessarily profitable. I had bodies, I had, along with a lot of attitudes, a lot of things that wasn't ideal. And some days many days I just didn't even like my team. I wanted to walk away from it.
Mm.
And rebuilding it with Brett, now I feel like I'm a better leader. I know how to convey the message of accountability better across the board and really give a solid reasoning of why we're doing everything we do.
Yeah.
So streamlining it and becoming more analytical with numbers and clearer with my expectations has really helped my business overall.
That's fantastic. Um, it is interesting, Brett, he just talked about it on his call a couple days ago, that the whole purpose of business, the whole purpose of our operating business is to generate capital and opportunity to execute our wealth plan.
Mm-hmm.
And so if we take our ego out of it, right, which is the hard one for me, and instead of building it just for it to be bigger, for numbers to be bigger, for production to be bigger, and we actually start building it to be profitable and generate as many opportunities, right? So on the retail side, you did that. On the
Yep.
acquisition side, you're getting the opportunities so that you
Yep.
can work the wealth plan faster, right? It's those 2 tracks at the same time. All of a sudden, everything changes.
It does.
It's so different because our whole industry is always just talking about bigger, more deals, more units, get on stage. And then we get lost in the prestige or the ego of it, or at least I do, I should say. I
Yeah.
shouldn't.
I think most of us do.
Just
We get
me.
starstruck.
Yeah.
We get this celebrity mentality that we want to. I mean, it's just. I really feel like this past year, I've been able to really put my ego to the side more than I used to. And I believe that's because I'm swimming in a bigger pond Now I have more opportunity. I'm not just looking at my market and what I'm doing in my market. Now I'm in with a group of agents who are really operating their acquisitions department as well as the retail business on a high level. And I think being a part of that, it really helps me not feel like I'm a superstar in my market,
Sure.
because I know there's still so much more room. There's still so much room to grow. There's still other places to go and things to do. And I'm really excited about that. So I'm not where I want to be right now, but I definitely see how my business will even be different and more profitable next year. And this year has been a year of laying just a solid foundation for me in
Oh, well.
both changing the way I do operate my team on the retail side and the acquisition side. And I'm sorry, my family, I'm at home, my family's doing all the stuff in the background. Sorry about that.
I love it. I love it. Zanthia, I have to say your story, not just of, yes, the transition of building your retail team and transitioning from, you have competitive tennis to now having the real estate business, to having a team, to now what you've accomplished. It's truly remarkable. And you're inspiring me to be a little more of a risk taker and to get out of my own way for sure. I'd love to ask a few other questions that are just kind of like some hot topic questions. But before I do, you had another big transition and this last year, and it was, or in the past couple of years, you switched brokerages as well, correct?
Yeah.
So when you decided to switch brokerages, because I know a little bit more about you, that was part of a wealth decision as well. You've been looking at everything as how do I generate passive cash flow and accelerate that wealth plan.
Correct.
I didn't want to just, skim over that, because that's been a big contributor to your cash flow. That's
Absolutely
faster.
Absolutely. Well, I was with Remax for 17 years. And honestly, I wasn't unhappy with Remax. I was not unhappy with Remax. However, there was never a year that I did not look at a competitor to see where I could save money. Remax, in my professional opinion, has always been considered the Cadillac of real estate companies. And I went to Remax because in my market, the majority of the agents with the market share were really Remax agents. If they did not specialize in a particular niche, like foreclosures or new construction, agents with the market share, they were Remax agents. Now, mind you, I started in 2000. So I switched over I was with a local brokerage for the first 2 years, got rookie of the year, all that kind of stuff. And then I transitioned to Remax because I really wanted to be around agents who were career focused, not agents who were just talking around the water cooler. So Remax was great for me, and I really enjoyed the broker owner. However, Remax never wrote me a check at the end of the year. They never, they never gave me any money back. I always paid. And I was paying Remax a lot of money a year to operate there. Whereas I transitioned to Real Broker, brought my team, and it was different. The model is, I really have come to appreciate Real Broker a lot more over the years. This is my second year with the company, and I really like the model. I love the options, the wealth building options they give us. It's like 6 ways to earn income, and from just your own production, and 2 ways to earn when you attract other agents to the company. And that's been a phenomenal change for me. And it's also a phenomenal change for the agents who came over to Real Broker with me, because they don't have to open a door for every dollar that they earn. So it was just another way to build passive income. And But real broker, it's not just about the passive income, only because there's a lot of companies out there where you can earn passive income, but the culture of real broker is extremely strong and it's extremely encouraging. They, I could talk about real broker all day, and probably because I just flew back into Charlotte this morning because I was at the Real One conference, our
Oh,
first conference ever. And I'm telling you, it was over the freaking top.
that's awesome.
It was over the top. So I am on a high right now. I'm on a supreme high about Real Broker. It's a great company to be a part of.
I think the main key here, right? And what I'm hearing, and one of the things that I love about Be Wealthy is everyone's from all different brokerages. On the retail side, we have half of the room that's retail real estate agents that are from all different brokerages. We have some people who don't even have their real estate license. They're just investors and wholesalers. And we have like Ryan on this call, who's a lender, right? So everybody's coming from different businesses,
Right.
but they're looking now at all of the opportunities of what we choose. And while it may have been in the past, like, I look great in gold, so I'll have a gold jacket. It may have been different value propositions in the past for everyone. Today, the value propositions that our business owners are looking at when they partner with a business is, what does my wealth look like? What does my training and education look like? What does the culture piece look like? Will this get me down my wealth plan faster?
Correct.
So the paradigm shift, whether you are Real or KW or Remax, it's just you're having the conversation to make sure the value proposition's exactly what you need. And like you said, even while you were at a previous brand, every year you were double checking, am I getting the best value proposition available on the street for Zanthia? Is Zanthia getting what she needs to move business faster? And so I'm glad you found a home that is getting that for you.
Well, Caitlin, that also goes back to the ego conversation. Some people will stay in their brokerage because they are the biggest fish in that pond. And they love being stroked by the owner. They love, and honestly, they're paying a lot for their ego to be stroked by the owner. And they're not building wealth, as you said. So it goes back to the ego. And when I constant, and that's a good thing about this program, is you're constantly going back to your spreadsheet. Where are you in your wealth plan? How are you building? Is this gonna serve you later? What does it serve? Does it even serve you? If not, get rid of it, right? So yeah. So I've learned a lot. Gosh, I almost feel like where have I been? Where have you guys been?
All right.
I've been in real estate a very, very long time. I've been in real estate for 22 years. 22.
Good. And
it's almost embarrassing that I have not been exposed to this type of community in the past. Yeah. But I'm happy I'm here now, and that's all that matters.
I think the cool part is you had a coach back in 2012. So 10 years you've been searching for the right training, the right education. And I think that not at different stages in your career or different places that you are in your business or your wealth plan, there'll be different places that are the right fit for you to get what you need. And so I'm very thankful that our room's able to provide that for you today, for sure. So you ready for some fun questions?
Yeah. Go for it.
What is an unusual habit or something absurd that you absolutely love?
Great question. Unusual habit. Something absurd that I love.
What would your husband say is quirky about you, or something crazy you love?
Oh gosh. It's crazy. I see myself as being a normal person, regardless, of what he says. Anybody else?
He's wrong.
Give me another one, Caitlin. Man,
okay, I'll give you another one. So what advice would you give? Because we have some people in this room that might be on the retail side, some people that might be on the investment side. But if you were talking to a smart, driven new agent or new investor about the real world, since you've experienced both sides, what advice would you give them?
Build good habits, start good habits, focus on the fundamentals, hold your head down, just do the work. Don't pay attention to what others are doing or what's going on around you. Keep your goals in front of you every day. And yeah, because a goal not written down is a goal definitely not achieved.
Dream.
Just regardless of what's going on in the market, just hold your head down and do the work every day. And don't rubberneck. Don't rubberneck and look at what someone else is doing, because you'll always be unsteady. Okay, just focus on your plan and focus on your path and be steady with it. So probably my quirky habit, I'm gonna go back to that real quick, will probably be I love to play games all the time. If I got an extra minute, or sometimes when I'm in the middle of conversation, I'm constantly playing games.
Is that
and I love, maybe it's strategy, I don't know, or maybe it's just, I don't know, just fidgeting or whatever. Yeah, but that's the best advice I can give is consistency, I think, kills most people in this business. And not seeing the results fast enough. If they don't see quick results, they tend to get anxious or think that it's not going to work. Well, you just got to keep doing it. And I could say that 100 times, but it seems like it's a hard concept for some people to get. And every personal development book, I mean, it writes about it all the time. It's very hard to read a personal development book that doesn't talk about consistency and just having a pig-headed discipline about what your goal is, achieving your goal. So that's it. Yeah.
Well, that's a good transition to my next question. What book or books do you recommend most?
Oh man, some great books. Book that just totally changed my life and that I'm constantly reading is The Lifestyle Investor. I think that was the first book that I received last year, The Lifestyle Investor. Yeah. And honestly, when I read it before the first mastermind, it went over my freaking head. I had no, I have read the book. Matter of fact, I read it, I downloaded it on Audible, and I listen to it all the time because it's just such a new world for me. So I have to do a deep dive. I have to it's just almost like the Facebook recordings. I have to listen to it over and over again in my car. I listen to it and just over and over and over again so it can sink in, because I know sometimes I miss it because I was probably playing a game or something. But so I'm always listening and re-listening to great books. The other book, it would be that one and Organize Tomorrow Today.
Oh, that changed my life too. I find that everyone that that I work with that gets off track, right? So I'll have a coaching client that maybe gets off track, or a fellow partner at work. If we just go back to Organize Tomorrow Today and just say, okay, you got off that. Always when it's off the rails, I say, are we doing Organize Tomorrow Today still? Are you doing that every night? What does that look like? It's always no, in my own life as well. And then when I say, let's just start that habit back for the next 7 days, all of a sudden, next coaching call 7 days later, it's like, oh no, everything's fine. We're doing great. It's the one habit that if anybody could get consistent on one habit, it'd be executing that, in my opinion. Yeah,
I totally agree. I use that actually Organize Tomorrow Today is the next book that my team that we're reading together, but we're constantly reading books sort of like that. 2 months ago, we read Atomic Habits, which is very similar in some ways, but Organize Tomorrow Today just has a different. It just kind of have a different flair to it. You hear it in a different way.
Yeah.
Sometimes you'll catch something different than you did before. So, but it's still all the same concept of getting your stuff together to today. So tomorrow will be easy, and not necessarily easy, but you'll be very successful at executing your goals.
Yeah, you're set up for success in a really consistent way.
Mhm,
You get to
mhm.
the nail on the head with the consistency piece, having a goal, keeping your head down. I wrote down the no rubbernecking because I can rubberneck driving and working. No rubbernecking, just keep your head down, and consistency over time will lead to those great results.
Mhm.
I love
And
it. Sounds
and
like
in all fairness, rubbernecking is hard. I think we all look at what someone else is doing and say, "Gosh, why am I not doing that? Oh my gosh, I wish I was there." So I mean, we're all guilty of it. But in the next breath, after you say all that, have that minute or a couple of seconds, and then in the next breath says, "This is my journey. This is my path. All the circumstances surrounding their success may not be the same for me." And
Mhm.
honestly, so much of what people say is smoke and mirrors, smoke and mirrors. So if you really look deeper and closer, it's almost like I thought I had such a great business when I first joined Be Wealthy. And Brett said, "You're not profitable. You know, I mean, gosh, you need to basically fire everybody."
This does sound about right.
Yeah, I mean, you need to fire
No,
everybody. You're not profitable. But looking from the outside in, I had a ton of agents, a ton of transactions, but I had a ton of bills,
Mhm.
so it's rubbernecking, you're not being fair to yourself. I had to realize that you're not being fair to yourself when you rubberneck.
Yep.
And I think most agents will say, I can definitely say the team I had last year, I was not as profitable as I am this year. And I'm way more profitable this year. And we may have around the same, well, we're going to have more transactions, but per month overall, just not as, much activity.
Sure. Sure. All right. I've got one more for you, Zanthia.
Sure.
If you could have a gigantic billboard anywhere with anything on it, obviously metaphorically speaking, basically you're getting your message out to millions, what would it say and why? It can be just like a few words or a paragraph or an image.
That's a great question, Caitlin. I think from a human standpoint, it would be "You're beautiful."
I love that.
And then I would put a little, maybe another little phrase at the bottom, "Act like it." Something like that. One thing I realized in this business, and whether it's on the acquisition side, the acquisition and retail side alike, people are hurting. There's so many people hurting. We offer a service, yes. But when we show up with hope and hopefully encouragement. Beauty is not on the outside all the time, it's on the inside. And I much prefer the inner beauty than the exterior. And whatever hope or encouragement we can give someone, um, because everybody's dealing with something hard. Everybody. I don't care who you meet. Everybody's dealing with something hard. So giving that message of hope, encouragement, "You're beautiful," let them take it to where it's needed in their life, in their heart. And, it's almost like you plant a seed, let it grow from there. But that's what I would say. It's your journey. Just recognize that you're here for a reason and purpose. You're beautiful. Yeah.
Zanthia, your energy is contagious.
Oh, thank you.
Spirit and your energy is just absolutely fantastic. And so I can't thank you enough for the time we've been able to spend together today and for sharing all of this with everyone on the call and on our Facebook group. So I really appreciate you tremendously. And every time I see you, I get a huge smile on my face as a reflection of your energy. So
Oh, you're sweet. Well, thank you. Thank you so much. I mean, I cannot tell you how much you guys have changed my life, the life of my family, how much, I mean, shoot, hopefully when I see you in November, I'll be able to tell you a little bit more about how much wealth I've built last year, how much passive income I've increased over the past years after I close a couple more deals. I'm just really excited about what's happening right now. And you guys are a huge part of it. So I can never tell you thank you enough, or encourage as many people, send as many people as I can your way.
Well, we are the Zanthia Hype Squad for sure. Huge fans.
Thank you. Well, you guys keep doing good work, and I'll see you soon.
Well, hold on. You're not off the hook that fast.
Oh, I'm not? Okay.
No, you have just a couple more minutes.
Okay.
Whether it's on this call live today, if you do have questions, put them in the chat box or unmute yourself. But some people are going to want to reach out to you directly. Your energy is contagious. They may have some questions for you personally or professionally. How can people get best in touch with you, Zanthia?
Email me, text me, call me, either way.
What is your email address for those who may want to reach out to you?
Zanthia@soldbyzan.com.
Perfect. That was Zanthia at soldbyzan.com. You can also find her on Facebook and social media. If y'all have any questions or have trouble finding Zanthia or have questions for us on our end, you can always book a call with us directly through this link here. We're very fancy now. We have a QR code and an actual link. So with that, Zanthia, thank you so much. We really appreciate it. And I look forward to seeing you just in a couple of weeks.
Right. Thank you so much.
All right.
Bye, guys. Good work.
Everyone have a wonderful rest of your day, and we'll see y'all soon.